Captain's Log, February 3rd, 2016. So we got word today that the Supergirl Flash Arrow universe crossover is now definitely a done deal. It's happening, and it's happening as a Supergirl episode with the Flash in it. Now, no word yet on whether or not we're going to see anybody else from the Flash universe in that episode. And originally, it was reported by Bleeding Cool, and I've been told that that website has a tendency to jump the gun and post things that haven't been confirmed yet. But Bleeding Cool thought previously that it was going to happen in May, and that it was still going to be Supergirl, but that it was going to be, and I quote, with the Star Labs team joining the Scarlet Speedster. So that makes me wonder if there's any potential of seeing anybody else coming with the Flash over into the Supergirl universe, or if it's just going to be him. But the report has been, the Flash in Supergirl, so in Grant Gustin specifically. So who knows? I imagine it will probably just be he gets caught up in some kind of dimensional vortex thing, or maybe he goes there on purpose, given that they have access now in Star Labs to the 52 worlds, and they could probably go to any of them anytime they wanted to. So there might be some reason that he has to go there. I think that could be potentially kind of neat. But anyway, so I'm gonna assume that this is going to be an interdimensional crossover, and that they're not going to be silly enough to try to make us buy that this character was always in this universe all along. That might seem like a given to a lot of you, but I having not read any word yet on, if this is supposed to be an interdimensional crossover thing, just these shows are crossing, I don't know. Because I've heard people say, well, obviously this will never happen because they're in different universes. But, of course, remember that there's a really easy story out, at least from the Flash's side, because the Flash introduced this season that... And this would be a really good time to do this because it was this whole interdimensional concept has been driving that whole season of the Flash. That there are 52 Earths, and that there are doppelgangers, from between each of them, at least between Earth 1 and Earth 2. So it'll be interesting to see if that's how they handle it, and I certainly hope that they don't go the other way, where they just try to ignore and sweep under the rug the fact that there's no Superman ever mentioned in Flash's universe, and he seems to be the first public superhero past Green Arrow, and certainly the first one that seems to have anything like the kind of value Superman does. At the beginning of Flash Season 1, I talked a lot about how in a world without Superman and Batman, we've got the stand-ins seem to be Green Arrow on the Batman side and Flash on the Superman side. And now we're going to, and this is very interesting to me, now we're going to have a Flash, assuming that everything remains canonical between them, and that should be a given. I'm going to assume it is. But if Flash gets to go to Supergirl, and we don't treat it like an almost non-canonical thing where Flash never brings it up again and never talks about it on his own show, we're going to have a Flash after this that has heard of Superman and that knows Supergirl and hopefully picks up on some of those values and stuff, and realizes how close, at least theoretically, he aligns with their way of thinking as opposed to the more vigilante way of thinking. And there's the whole, putting your bad guys in your own prison thing and all of that. That's why I said theoretically. There's some ethical ambiguity that happens on the Flash. But for all intents and purposes, this is supposed to be a character that is more of a superhero because he can be and has and enjoys helping people and feels the responsibility of doing that, as opposed to any kind of chip on his shoulder or an ulterior motive. He's, as much as you can, gotten over his mother's death and decided that there's nothing he can do about it, and even if that seems kind of driven by plot devices and stuff with convoluted and somewhat nonsensical time travel, and it's no longer really the driving force between why he's being a superhero, and he aligns again more with Superman than he does anything. So I think it's really cool to put them together as opposed to anything else, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion to people that that's the way they would do it. I guess especially given this picture, but anyway, so it's gonna be neat to see. I hope there's a real story there. I hope that this is not just a gimmick, as Rick Porter talks about in his article on TV by the Numbers. this question of whether or not this is driven by ratings or if it's just a matter of the people making these shows really want to see these characters cross over, especially since originally Supergirl was pitched to the CW and they passed on it. So obviously Berlanti and his crew kind of expected this to be in the Flash Arrow universe in the first place, so they're kind of they've managed to get around whatever legal issues you might have had in getting the CW and CBS to work together. However, and I mean, like, given the fact that CBS like owns those shows in how they and like I don't know how all that works, because like CBS is in charge of those shows, at least, because they're getting them all off of Netflix. So yeah, there's been talk about like legality and stuff. I have no idea really why this would be such a difficult thing to make happen between networks. I just don't know enough. But I just thought of that. I was like, well, wait, doesn't CBS have power over some of these shows because they're the people taking them off Netflix? Anyway, but whatever difficulty, red tape they had to get past, they've managed to get past, and they're able to get these characters in the same multiverse at least. And I'm assuming, like I said, that they're going to be in the same, or they're not going to be in the same world. And it's actually going to be the multiversal thing, and it'll be interesting to see in the future if we do any more of this kind of crossing over. I think it's really interesting that Flash hasn't really gone to any other worlds yet, and we just keep bringing people from Earth 2 to our Earth, and we've not really taken our people and gone anyplace else. I guess we put Gorilla Grodd someplace, but we haven't really gone and explored any other universe, and so it's kind of interesting that unless we do it sometime between now and then in Flash, that this will be the first time Flash has really been to another universe, and that it's not going to even be in his own TV show doing that. And I hope that this has some kind of bearing on his character progression and who he is. I guess I'm a little bit more interested really in what this means for the Flash's character than I am Supergirl's, because I feel like living in a universe that she does that's already very comic book established, where we've already got aliens running around, and Superman has already saved the Earth probably countless times. He might have even already died. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. Although we've got Hank Henshaw, so if he died, it happened a little bit differently because you didn't have the 4 Supermen. But that's neither here nor there, because it's a TV show and we can do anything differently in adapting it as we want to. But it makes me kind of wonder if interdimensional things have happened already in that world, and if this is going to be kind of old news to her. It might be kind of weird to play it up like, oh man, other dimensions are real, and then Flash might be like, yeah, we've got a one-up on you. We're like, all of this is new to us, but at least there's this cool, crazy, super science thing that you didn't know about that we've got. So, we've got that one thing on you guys. Oh, wait, aliens are real? Oh, cool. We knew about magic, but we didn't have that one yet. But anyway, I don't have a lot more to say about it. I'm excited to see it and excited to see what happens with it. The reason I brought up the ratings thing, I guess, is because I'm certainly hoping, of course, that this is motivated and fueled much more by purely the excitement of getting to see these characters on screen together, and that there will be like I said, a real story being told, and it not just be kind of a gimmick crossover thing. Hey, look, a crossover. They're gonna push it real hard, I'm sure, in promos and stuff. But I hope that there's a good script behind it. And Supergirl, that it's not just the novelty of the thing. I also hope they don't fight, really. We don't need another one of those, especially because this is going to be right around Batman versus Superman, and where he was like Civil War is going to happen after this. There's a lot of superheroes fighting each other this year, and we've seen that. We've kind of been there and done that with Arrow and Flash, and with somebody not being themselves, and being kind of mentally out of sorts, no less, which was irritating. So Oh, this is just a straight-up team-up of some kind. I'm glad it's happening to Supergirl, not Flash, because I think the writing is likely to be better. I think in general the writing on that show has been a little bit better than it has been on, in some cases, a lot better than it has been on the CW superhero shows. And so that's cool. It's going to be neat to see that writing staff tackle the Flash. And I honestly should look at those names. I don't know how different the writing staffs are, and if there are, because I know the producers are the same, but I don't know if like the main writing staff is different, but it's got to be, because even between Flash and Arrow, there's usually a noticeable difference in quality of writing. So this is cool. I'm glad it's happening. I'm excited about it. I was hoping we'd get to see it this year. I sure didn't think we'd get to see it this early, just 2 months away. That is super cool. So anyway, that is all I have to say about it. Thanks as always for watching, and this concludes today's Captain's Log.